We've made it through the breakdown and onto the last drop and the outro, which will work fine as long as the initial sound design session work was done well. Now let's go back and look at all the tiny regions scattered throughout the track, like the drum fills, sound effects, audio edits. These will be easy to treat, tune, and place since the core sounds of the track are gelling well together. Lastly, let's do a quick scan to make sure we didn't miss anything or forget to treat any part. This is where our color coordination will also help. So speaking of color coordination, we've got the backbone stuff here, we've got the chord stuff here, we've got the lead stuff here, and then we've got our breakdown stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and give the breakdown its own designation. How about this? It doesn't stand out enough. How about this lime green stuff? These regions obviously didn't make the cut. Let's just go ahead and get rid of them now. Not a big deal. And now we know where we're at with all this different stuff. Now, these last little synths right here and this pad right here, all of this stuff, don't worry about that. We're going to almost think of that as a different type of incidental. We're going to get to it when it comes up. Those sounds are important, but they're going to be really easy to place once the rest of this track is done and all the elements have been addressed. Okay, so let's get into incidentals real quick, because to me, in my mind, incidentals are things like this filter kick that starts off the song. Right? Easy. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and drag the incidentals down here, and we're going to do our mix trick within the mix trick. We're just going to start here with the filter kick and have a look at it. I'm not going to do the same degree of sound design and going back over, but I am going to address each sound individually. So, oops, somehow I turned my metronome on. Forgive that. Okay, looks like we do have some gain problems here, but that's not the end of the world. We're just going to go ahead and zero out the channel and bring it down till we see a healthy level coming in the fader. Really, the only thing that's happening here is aggressive high pass with some resonance boost to get that little spike there. Our bass would have been copied from the original kick drum. We're not using that. Don't need compression for something like this. Don't need limiting for something like this. We did have a little bit of a send going to the reverb, which I highly suggest. But let's actually put pre-fader and see if that works. Cool, and let's actually even go to a different verb. Let's try the snare verb, which is probably going to be a little bit bigger. And that sounds a little bit more musical to me. This was also getting sent off to the hat verb, which was giving a kind of a clicky sound I didn't like. So I didn't like that at all. So that's fine. Let's just take it out of solo. Right, and I'm not going to spend too much time trying to zero it out and mix it in perfectly. I can tell just... Yeah, I can tell in my headphones that between -5.1, -4.1, that thing sits perfectly. Let's just jump to this fill loop right here. This is incidental and very easy to fix. Okay. Again, I'm not going to go as nuts with the sound design touch-ups on this as I did with the other stuff. It really doesn't need it. I might ease up on the amount of high passing. I don't want it to become... I don't want to rob it of a little bit of its body, you know? Right? Those are just little turnaround things that sound cool at the end of phrases. Right? Now that's pretty darn loud in there. So again, since this is audio, you can tell that this is quite loud. Now remember, we want to avoid having to have the region audio be so darn loud that we're doing this to our channel. What we want to do is we want to set the channel to 0 and then grab all those regions, go up to the gain parameter here and move things down. Again, I'm just eyeballing, but 8.1 looks very, very respectable and healthy. Might still be too hot, right? I'm going to bypass these for now. Okay, so it is actually pretty good. I like the EQ curve. Let's just adjust what's happening at the compressor. Yeah, it's just too darn loud. Let's try a different circuit and ease up on the threshold. Yeah, and if you ask me, that Studio VCA sounds great there. Okay, so little combination of EQ and compression going off to a color bus that has Omicide on it for a little bit of dirt. Let's listen to the dirt. Without. Yeah, let's try it in pre-fader mode just to get a little more level out of it. Yeah, a little bit more dirt and interest there. And that obviously is summed at that incidental summing bus that we talked about earlier when we summed all our incidentals. Okay, let's pull it out of solo, and it's a little loud. That's still a little loud, and the energy needs to drop here. I do want this to cut through, but I don't want it to be too noticeable. I want the energy to drop so that when the kick comes back in, it feels like it's heavy. Cool, and that works for me, right? So now we've done the filter kick, the filt loop. Let's look at these kick fills. Probably just choose one of the longer ones. Okay, and there's that clicking sound we got from, I believe, this verb. Let's bypass that immediately. Okay, let's bypass the other verb. Those are no bueno. So what we want to do then is let's go ahead and just dump this on the snare verb and try that. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. That works. And we could get into some gain staging here. These things are so easy to place that, yeah, I'll follow my own advice. But if you just want to go ahead and mix by ear for some of this stuff, I don't blame you. Okay, so now I zeroed out the fader. I brought down the level on the actual EXS24. R bass could probably remain there, but I'm gonna aim the frequency a little bit higher, so the beater and the overall tonality of the kick fills feels like it's a little sharp in terms of pitch compared to the actual kick drum. And done. Piece of cake. That's really all it needs. It's absolutely working for me. And again, this is being busted the incidentals, which is fine. Okay, catch you in the next video.